Hello and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we completed Hollow Bastion, kind of, and are preparing for our final venture. In this episode, I want to work on the 101 Dalmatians. Even though there's only 99, they're found in groups of 3, and they're scattered across all the worlds, making for a grand total of 33 sets of puppies you have to find. I kind of want to just make an organized list of the ones I found, and the one that we haven't found just yet. As you saw there, inside the synthesis room, as soon as you get the green trinities, easy enough, right there on the bench next to the Mugos, are they called? Mugos? I think they're called Mugos. Either way, the next one you're going to be going for, and the easiest one to get to, will be the alleyway behind these boxes. You can either get this with a high jump, or get it with the red trinity, as you saw there. Easy enough to get to. This one is right behind Merlin's house, and you're going to fly to find it. I mean, it's really hard to see. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, my game, it was like pitch black inside this room, and I cannot see anything. But as you can see, there's also a stack of boxes there that you can also find or push to unlock other things, but we don't care about that. The next one is going to be in the waterway in the out that you get to through the alleyway that you got the last set of puppies. After you talk to Aerith, right there in the stairway, another set of puppies. Easy enough. And that's it for Traverse Town altogether. So moving on to Alice in Wonderland, which is the next place I visited. Inside the forest, Locust Forest, on the lily pads up on the roof, by the big tree, there was a set of puppies. I think it was like 10, 11, and 12 or something like that. I'm trying to say the numbers, but sometimes these clips go by a little bit fast. Next one, you have to get with high jump, right there in the Queen's room. This one you don't need high jump to get to, but honestly, you have to get high jump for the other one, and the bazaar is so hard to navigate, I honestly couldn't even give you a clear guide on how to get to it. But on the other side of the hedges in the Queen's room, there's puppies 13, 14, and 15. No high jump required, but it is recommended. The next one is in the Tea Party room, which you get after you start moving the middle tree around a bunch. I forget exactly how to open up. It's been a while. Anyways, it's not this one. That's just a quick and easy drop. Never is the quick and easy one. You just jump over on the other side, and boom, 19, 20, and 21 have gone home. You don't even really have to use anything. And that chest there, I still haven't figured out how to get to. Olympus Coliseum is actually the easiest one. All you need is the blue trinity on the statue on the right side of the entrance, drops a green chest, and you get puppies 22, 23, and 24. Easy enough. That's it in the Colosseum. So now, moving on to the Deep Jungle, I'm going to go in order of just going up the jungle. Basically, you're going to start out inside the camp, and there's a blue trinity. A lot of these are blue trinities. Use it, chest appears, everybody's wondering what's going on, and here are puppies 20, 34, 35, and 36. Gone home. Next one, if you're lucky or good enough with the jumps and the timing, you can get it without glide and high jump and stuff, but honestly, it's just easier with them than without. And right there at the end of the road, 25, 26, and 27 have gone home. Now, climbing the vines into the actual vines section of Deep Jungle, it's right there in the early entrance. 20 set, I actually don't know what set that was. It skipped by too fast. But anyways, pretty easy to get to. And then finally, when you get to the area where you're fighting the diseased plants, puppies 31, 32, and 33 are right next to one of the save points in the treehouse. That's it for Deep Jungle and the first section of the game. Moving on to Agrabah, this one was kind of the worst one. As there's two different sections of the game, the main bazaar and then the treasure hub. So starting off with where you would be first, inside Aladdin's house, there was like Puppies 36 through 38 or something like that. And easy enough to get to. As you climb the rooftops, I believe that's in the area where you fight Jafar for the first time. Bam, right there. Just glide right on over to him. Easy enough as well. This one's the worst one. It's kind of like in the entrance area of the Cave of Wonders. Hard for me to navigate. This one's the easiest one to get to inside the Cave of Wonders. As you can see, all you have to do is just press one of the jewel buttons, and 51 or 52, 53, and 54 go home. I could have sworn there was one down in the dark cave, but I can't remember all that well. So moving on to the Monstro, this is kind of like the bazaar area inside of Wonderland, where I don't really know where this stuff is. I mean, you're just going to find these throughout the various chambers, and this one you get through for Chamber 6. As you can see, glide makes things very nice in this area. Moving on, fighting enemies and taking stuff out. 79, 70, 80, and 81. Instead of a chamber, I don't even know where that was. And in other sections, honestly, I really couldn't tell. This is actually one of like the furthest chambers and one of the hardest ones to get to. This one is actually one of the easiest ones. It's on the planks right next to Geppetto's ship. You can get it right as soon as you unlock but the high jump after saving Pinocchio the first time. Easy enough. Atlantica is the easiest to collect puppies because there are none here. Moving on to Halloween Town with the longest intro that you can possibly imagine, but the truest to the movie, and really nice. I always like this movie. Regardless, we're not here to talk about movies, we're here to do puppies, and I believe this one was actually the single hardest one to collect of all. I think there's the most in Halloween Town, but I could be wrong there. Especially since the area is so dark, I can't even tell where that area was. But most of these areas are going to be kind of like in the guillotine. And this one's actually on the bridge on the side. This one was so hard to get to. It was unbelievable. As you can see, even I'm having even a hard time navigating through this area because I could not find a way to turn on the brightness. But eventually you can find a way up on the pumpkins. And when you glide into one, when you climb into one, you can get the power up. But you don't want that. Well, you do want it, but you want to glide over to the next pumpkin, and you can get puppies 70, 71, and 72. Nothing too special, but this one was actually the hardest for me to actually get to. I couldn't remember how to get up on the skeleton. Inside the coffin area, I think that is. I can't even tell. I believe there's also a puppy inside of what was his name? Dr. Frankenstein's place, and there was also one inside the coffin area. You saw where they were, about as well as I could. Moving on into the Neverlands. This one was easy. It's the easiest to find everything. After you, I don't know why I'm starting here, but after you complete this area, if you just round around the clocks, nothing too major. It's just right around the corner. And don't worry about direction. There is no time saved. I think it's like the same either way. No, actually, I think if I would have went the other way, it would have been faster. But either way, 43, 44, and 45 are right in the end clock tower. And if you can navigate through Neverland, this one is on one of the beams. After you get glide, you can glide up on one of the beams where you escape prison, and there you go, puppies. This one kind of took me a little while to get to because you need the Yellow Trinity, and I don't think you can get that for a while. Actually, I think it's not something that gets unlocked until the end game. And with ease, after you can get in there, there will be a stack of a bunch of different... There's a stack of different treasure chests, and you want the one on the very top. There's also a power-up boost to your magic in here, and that's weird. I find that kind of weird. Moving on, though, the next one is actually relatively easy to get to. This is actually the first one I think you'd be able to get to. And it's after you meet Riku, talk about Kairi, and fight some kind of shadow form of yourself. You get a Raven's Claw after your victory. And it's right in here in the quarters. Captain's quarters. Right next to his bed. I mean, the guy is just like kidnapping everything. Kind of weird. With that, 88, 89, and 90 go home. Now down into Hollow Bastion, the final area of the game. This is actually the place where I couldn't get to a puppy yet. And I can't get to it until my return. But starting off, in the very beginning, there was 90 to 93, I think it was. And that was pretty easy to get to. You just drop down from the rocks. This one's also pretty easy to get to. You just gotta beat up this Draco thing. I think they're Wyverns. Still a cool looking enemy. And by accident, I hit this thing with gravity, and it worked. 94, 95, and 96 returned home. But nothing else to really do there. So moving on towards the end. This was in the area by the two big blocks that I took forever trying to figure out how to open. As you can see right there, I'm right next to one that messed with the first one, messed with the first side of the left side of the door. It was easy enough to get to, and you have to beat up all the enemies to get to it anyways. The final one, the final Puppies, was in the final area where you're fighting Ansem, where you fought Ansem for the first time, and it's right up there on the ledge. That was all of the Puppies. And you get quite a lot of a reward for it, including some important things for other sections of the game. Most of them aren't really that important, but it is a section of the game and something that kind of gets crossed off. And the list of which items you get are the Kiraga G, which is for your ship. I never really messed with the gummy ship, so really didn't get much use of it. And by the way, every time you don't complete the list, you have to go through the animation again and again. If you like the animation, that's cool. But if you're going through it and you're trying to get it all done in a video, it's nicer to get it all done at once. The Viagra G and the Thunder G and the Mithril Shards are pretty important. Torn Pages are pretty important. Actually, it's very important. And the Mithril is important. But the gummy stuff, it's just not that important. I never even upgraded the gummy ship, so early Puppies, not really important. If you're not worried about the bonus area and completing the 100-acre woods, Torn Page isn't really that big of a deal. Neither are the Mithril Shards. Actually, the Torn Page is the biggest deal out of the Puppies list, though. Mega Elixir, not really important. Recalcum, not really important. Ultima G, not important. Ribbon's okay, but I think you can synthesize them, so yeah, not really the biggest deal in the world. However, if you complete every single puppy, I'm glad they didn't hide the torn page behind, collecting every single puppy. It was at least courteous about that. But you get this special animation of all the puppies kind of appearing. And I'm sorry I don't have sound. There was a corruption error and all my sound was lost. But you get that special animation for completing everything. And you get Eruga, and the complete gummy collection. Great if you're using the gummy ship all the time, but if you're me, And that's kind of it. There's nothing else to really do with the puppies. Every single one of them. Now, as I said before, one of them I haven't collected just yet, and that's going to be the final one in Hollow Bastion. As you can see here, these are the ones that will be in Hollow Bastion, and I will collect when I return to the actual Let's Play. So, with no further ado, in the next episode, we're going to head off to the final area. See you guys then.